This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Oh, Ira, good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Well, after yesterday, a bit more encouraged than I would have been doing if we talked the previous game. It just shows you how back and forth this highly mediocre 21-20 Miami Heat season has been.
Well, it's mediocre because it reminds me of the blood clot years. And you can't actually, expect consistency from Spo when he can't consistently know what lineup he has, what rotation, what bench, he's still figuring that shit out. And what we're watching, I think, is him starting to figure it out. But you've got to, as Bob Seger would say, you've got to turn the page with Butler. And this is why I want them to tear it down. This is why I want them to get as many picks as possible, because they know how to draft now. They can find guys. And, when I'm watching Khalil Ware last night, what came to me was the offensive dog that Bam doesn't have in him. Guess who has that offensive dog in him? Khalil Ware. So it's going to be actually a really nice pairing, because there's a guy that wants to play defense and also wants to have that spotlight on offense. Whereas Bam, last night, I loved his game. I loved his game because that's who he is. And that's where he's comfortable, and that's where he's himself. It's the rest of us that try to, oh, no, we want more from Bam. We want him to be 25-point Bam. We want him to be a offensive, aggressive Bam. That was nice last night. I think they got themselves a big man that wants to score.
I think they have a big man that they play to score specifically on the roll, on the lob, like a big man. Not the versatility that Bam showed when he was hitting the midi, but a different player. But you're still finding different combinations. So
but he wants it is my point. He wants that ball. He wants to score. He
has to be facilitated by other players. This is not look. I mean, honestly, here's an interesting thing. Go back and look at that game. How many times did Khalil Ware dribble? Probably not at all. He either caught at the three and drained a three, caught at the rim and scored at the rim. It's a different kind of player. It's a different kind of game. And that's why, Big O, we stand here at midseason.
He's an embryo in the NBA, Ira.
But you also know what he can do and what he can't. He's not going to be an off-the-dribble big man.
Maybe he develops that as time goes on. Ronnie Cycli was as mechanical as it got, and he got better with his dribble, so he could get better with his back to the basket and all that kind of stuff. Alonzo Mourning was semi-mechanical too at times, and he got better and more fluent in his game and all of that. I think Khalil Ware can grow, but right now, for what I'm watching, for a kid that just got out of college, and because of what I love what's in him already, there is dog in him, defensively, offensively. There's the dog he has to go after block shots. Not even Bam has that.
Mm-hmm.
This guy has some of that in it. You can't teach that stuff, Ira.
And he will unlock Bam because of that. Because at the rim, Bam's jumpers will be further open. Bam can roam more on defense. So you're seeing the combination there that Spoelstra's been reluctant to. But Big O, it comes back to your
I like that. I like the Kachuk Barkov comparison you're making. Maybe there is a little Kachuk Barkov rub off here. I like that.
We're going to go to that level yet with Khalil Ware. I know where you're getting. Bottom line is, Big O, you have to know the biggest picture of where this is. And until the Jimmy Butler thing is done, we're literally in a game-by-game, 8-game countdown to the trading deadline, because until you take care of that part of the equation, you just don't know. I mean, yes, you could just put Jimmy on the side like he put himself in his first game back. You could put him on the side like he sort of was yesterday, also Sunday against the Spurs. But you have to know that. And you do have to move on, because you can't afford to waste another half of a season to retard the growth of this possibility. You put Khalil and you put Bam out there, you probably don't want another non-3-point shooter. You want people to space the floor. You want Duncan. You want Tyler. You want that optionality we saw with the 3-pointers when they started flowing in the second half against the Spurs. So I agree with that. But you know what? I like Khalil and Bam together a lot. But I also know the main thing's the main thing. And the main thing has been Jimmy Butler for 5.5 seasons. And if he's not the main thing, then bye-bye main thing, and you've got to move on. Because, Big O, as much as you want to tear down, and as much as you possibly want to trade Tyler Herro, I need to see the rest of this season to see how that dynamic plays out. Because if you do have a three-man weave there, and you can make it work, it doesn't set you that far back. This idiotic notion of just tearing down to the studs is great, as long as you say, and 5 years from now in our accurate Pembroke Pines report, we'll have a better sense of who they are. You've got to have something to work with.
Ira, if Tyler gets injured again, it's too late.
Has he been injured this year?
I just,
Has he?
I'm tired of going through this.
Has he?
I told everybody, don't re-sign Butler. They re-signed Butler, and now you're paying the price for all of that. You should have parted ways with his ass a couple of years ago. You had your run. You got to understand it's over. You got to be realistic. X had 10 interceptions. I told everybody, you got to trade him right now. Oh, no, you can't. He had 7 interceptions for the next 3 years. Tyreek, back-to-back 1,700-yard seasons. I tell everybody, do not guarantee him another dollar. And I know enough people in that building, and I told them, don't guarantee him another dollar. And they still did, okay? And I'm doing the same thing again with Tyler. It's beautiful. He's playing terrific. This kid has never stayed healthy. Do not wait for the injury, because then his value will plummet, and that stock will never go up again. So you only get one chance with these windows. All right. And I'm going to go out on a limb again, and I'm going to say he's kicking ass. He's playing terrific. He still isn't any good on defense. If somebody wants a shooter in February and they offer you some picks, move his ass, because 4 months from now, when he's injured, you're going to say, oh, well, we should have traded him. Just like all the other examples I just talked about that I've gone through in the last couple of years. You got to get off these gravy trains at the right time. That's what the great front offices do. They already effed up with Butler. They already effed up with so many other things. But at least on the gravy train side, this is the chance you have to get off this gravy train. That's all I'm saying.
I just think you have to start with a certain baseline. And you can collect all the picks you want, and there's a good chance you will not get another Tyler Herro, a player of his level. Now, if you're saying you're getting all those picks to trade for a veteran, and you need a package like the Knicks did with the 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, or other trades around the league like Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland, that I can see. But you have to see where you are. But what the Heat have done in the last few drafts, their last 5 first-round draft choices have all produced. 4 for the Heat, starting with Tyler. Precious Achiuwa, you've watched him in New York. He's had his moments. He hardly is a bust. Is he Tyrese Maxey? No. But is he an NBA-level player? Yes. So they've done well with their picks. So you can also say they now have a young core they're building around also. The thing is, what you need to do more than anything is move off the 35-year-old Jimmy Butler, the 36-year-old Kevin Love, the old guys, and say, hey, Bam's going to be our oldest guy at 27. We're going to work, so by the time he's 30, in 3 years, we'll have this thing in order. We could be back up to an NBA Finals team. That I do agree with, and it's a nice start. And yesterday was so intriguing with what Kalel gave you. Raw. Yes, Niko Jovic, he's been in 3 years, still raw, 21 years old. Jaime Jaquez Jr., sophomore slump, raw, has to learn the next step in his game. I take all of that. But there's something intriguing there. So if Heat Nation is willing to say, you know what, might not be in the finals this year, might not even win a round of the playoffs, but this team is fun. My wife was watching the game the other day when I was working the game, and she texted me and she goes, I like these guys. She liked watching Nico and Jaime and Kalel and the young guys play spirited movement, quick twitch basketball versus Jimmy Butler plotting the ball down, shooting a mid-range jumper. It's a different game. If Heat Nation is willing to accept fun.
We're all tired of Jimmy's agenda.
Who isn't?
So that's why we want to all turn the page, since his agenda isn't about team and isn't about it's only about him and his money. That's all it is. Then your wife is just like me and the rest of us. Okay,
have fun. Yep.
You got a competent front office. You got the best coach in the world that will develop anyone that you give him, dude.
Totally agree.
So let's go. Let's turn the page. I had so much fun watching, Kalel Ware and everything else going on, and watching all the rest of the young guys do their thing. It's just, come on, man, let's turn the page. We've had a lot of winning here, like I've said over and over again. We got to stop acting like spoiled children. This isn't the Dolphins that screw you all the time and fall short every single time, or the Marlins.
I am totally agreeing with you, Big O.
This franchise has done more than enough. The real problem is Pat Riley. He has to learn to take a step back instead of 100 miles an hour every year and trying to put a Band-Aid on something that you cannot fix anymore this way. It cannot happen. The way he used to do things just does not work anymore, and he's got to do a better job of adjusting to the new way of doing things in basketball. And I get it. He wants to walk out into the sunset with a winner, but I'm sorry, dude, you're actually delaying that more by making the same mistakes over and over.
Instead of walking out with a championship trophy, you know what he needs to walk out with? Is a blueprint. It's saying, here's the blueprint for the future. That's how you do it to the next generation. Big O, you have money you're going to give to your daughter at some point. We all pass along our inheritance. That your Bitcoin, that's all we have to do going forward. If Pat Riley passes along a cogent blueprint and puts the Heat in a better position to succeed, that's the best work any administrator, any parent, anyone can do, is a legacy of handoffs. Maybe Pat's not there for the next, he's alive, but maybe he's not there for the next championship celebration, but God bless him for putting the Heat and the team in that direction. That's where this Jimmy Butler thing starts right now, is you can eliminate an error and you can set up for something better. I agree.
Yeah. All right. So, elephant in the room. Are they going to be able to get rid of this guy? Because I really don't want Spo to have to deal with this for the rest of the season.
Not fair. I agree. For 41 more games. People forget we're only at midseason. Yesterday was the midpoint. 21-20. We got half a schedule to go. Probably a play-in game. Maybe some playoffs. So I agree. There's a long time left to have to sit through that kind of misery.
The truth will come out. Bro, get out of my face already with that. I mean, give me a break, dude. What you're the most open book out there, bro. I mean, there's nothing to the truth will get out. Get out of here. This is the same shit with you in every stop. It
was the same when Shaq left also. There always is dirty laundry because every organization has dirty laundry. If you want to vent it, fine. That's what players do. The Heat got past Shaq. Matter of fact, every player where it ended ugly. Think about this, Big O. Tim Hardaway ended ugly with the weigh-ins and the contract. He's in their rafters right now. Alonzo Mourning went to New Jersey because they wouldn't give him the money. He's in the rafters. Shaquille O'Neal was awful on the way out. He's in the rafters. The good people make amends and you move forward because it's business and then later it's life. This seems to be a little different. Here's the deal, Big O. The Miami Heat have cogent workable deals now. They want to win the trade. But as I wrote in my column at the Sun Sentinel 2 weeks ago, you can't on one hand say a player is not good enough to get the extension he wants, but then say he is good enough to get you an A-list quality package. You can't have it both ways. If you want him out the door, you might have to take not pennies on the dollar or dimes on the dollar, maybe a few quarters on the dollar, because not only is it about Jimmy Butler and the value in return, it's about the other guys on the roster and giving them a chance. Whether you agree with Tyler or not, it's giving Bam a chance. It's giving Kalel a chance. It's giving Nico a chance. It's giving the other guys a chance to say, hey, we now have half a season. Let's see what we have. Or honestly, Big O, let's see what we don't have. And then you know where the reset starts also. There's something to be said for that also. But limbo and just being stuck this way and being, I hate to use this word today, but being held hostage by Jimmy Butler. No, that doesn't help anyone right now.
But the one area we have to defend the Heat here is if the deal's out there, okay, maybe they'll take, quarters on the dollar, like you said, and picks, but they don't want to take any bad contracts.
No, can't be more than 2 years. Can't be more than when Terry Rozier expires and Duncan Robinson expires.
Right. This year, not 2 years. If the contract doesn't expire this year, I'm not accepting any deal.
Then you're not doing a trade because teams would rather it expire. Terry Rozier and Duncan Robinson are on the books for next year. It's not a salary cap freedom offseason anyway. In 2 years, when Duncan is gone, when Terry was gone, and if you get contracts that don't extend into that, you can have upwards of $80 million. Big O, whether you take on a 1 or 2 year contract, it doesn't matter this summer. All you're going to have is exception money. The Miami Heat will have no salary cap space if Jimmy comes off the books and the players replacing him come off the books as well. They won't have salary cap space. They'll have $15 million in the cap space, which will be roughly the same as the mid-level. They will work with exceptions because then they can use the biannual anyway. This is a 2-year patience policy. And the beauty of it is this. You can let the young guys develop and see over those 2 years. Has Jaquez hit the wall? Is Jovic all he is? Is Kalel more than a defender? Then you come back again. If I see the kids in 2 years get a chance to flourish or not flourish, I'm fine with that. At least it's part of a process. But that's how you have to look. So to me, a couple of players who in the moment can contribute, guys, whether it's a John Collins, a Colin Sexton, just young players like that, at least multiple picks, because the picks is sort of 2 of the next 7 are out the door in the first round. You can reset. You can also package those picks for other players. But at least you have a launch pad. At least I can sit with you here, Big O, in July. And I could say on an accurate Pembroke Pines report, at least there's a platform now to move forward. Instead of, does Jimmy get his $50 million? Is Jimmy going to be happy? Is he going to block a sign and trade? Is he going to pick up the option?
So you're saying that even if you trade him and
for nothing. If Jimmy Butler walks out the door,
accept any deal that comes in that expires at the end of the year, in the offseason, they still will not have space.
I apologize to Big O and all our listeners out there. You still have Tyler and Bam and Duncan and Terry.
No, wait a minute. If you trade Tyler and Jimmy.
No. Now, if you're ripping it to the studs. Yeah. But again, you can talk about trading Tyler or not. And yes, that would open money. I agree with that. But
all right,
let's face it. To move off of Terry or move off of Duncan, you would have to include sweeteners. I think we both agree, Big O, you can't do that.
No, you let those expire next year, Ira.
After next season, right?
Stop giving away picks.
Totally.
You can dump your mistakes, dump them. If you have to let them expire, let them expire. Stop doing the things that keeping you from getting better. So that's my point. Remember, I'm talking about getting rid of Butler and Tyler and trying to get as many picks as possible, running it over.
Big O, if you get rid of Jimmy and you get rid of Tyler, you would move up to about $45 million in space. You would have optionality there. You wouldn't have Tyler. You'd have the young players. You'd have one more player. This is not a great free agent class also. Again, what you don't want to do is say, oh my God, we lost LeBron. We lost quality players. Hey, let's go get James Johnson and Dion Waiters and Kelly Olynyk and Wayne Ellington, and God bless him. We don't want that either. You need the right player. Now, look.
You know what I laugh at? I wanted to part ways with Tyreek after 2 1,700-yard seasons, something Tyler has never done in his freaking life. I wanted to part ways with X, who was an excellent corner overall and had a 10-interception season. I want to part ways with Butler, who took you to a couple championships in Eastern Conference right after. And you're fighting me on Tyler Herro, who has not accomplished anything like those last 3 players.
Has never been positioned.
It's like there's this prisoner of the moment shit is what I deal with all the time. And you've got to be able to compartmentalize your emotions at times and say, okay, I get it. In the moment, it's fantastic. Is it always going to be like this? Or no, let me be a little bit more, objective about all of this. And the whole Tyler thing, I really don't understand the love affair.
And I will throw you one bone because I know I got to give you a biscuit here before we're done with our accurate Pembroke Pines report. So I will say this. Tyler is eligible for an extension this offseason. That is where I might draw the line. That if Tyler says, you know what? I'm enjoying this $30 million, but I would like $60 million more. If he pulls a Butler, if he pulls an exorbitant number or bust, then I'm alongside Big O.
Yeah, but then it becomes even harder to trade because now you lose leverage because now you're in a position where now you're in a contract squabble and they know it, where now he's red hot. Some team has an injury. Some team needs desperately a shooter in order to win a championship. They're willing. This is where you have leverage. You have to deal in leverage, not when you lose leverage like now.
You have to make the playoffs this year.
like Tyreek. Now
you have to make the playoffs this year, because if you don't make the playoffs, your 2026 first-round pick unprotected to the Thunder. Your 2028 first-round pick unprotected to the Hornets, unless you make the playoffs this year. Look, this is a Rubik's Cube. This is a puzzle.
Or just you made the mistake. Get rid of the first-round pick already. Move on. It's a Band-Aid you got to rip, dude.
It's a potential number 1 overall pick. Look, they got themselves in a kerfuffle here, and now they got to unkerfuffle by the trading deadline. But Big O, before we talk Tyler or anything else, you've got to settle the Jimmy Butler situation.
Okay, tell me this.
It should have been settled already.
Just put his ass right on the end of the bench, or just leave him at home. What is the rules?
I don't disagree. No, I don't disagree. If the player agrees for that, that's fine. Mickey Harrison's thought in that meeting they had was, I'm not paying you not to play.
Whether he agrees or he doesn't.
It matters with the union.
So my point, again, I'm asking, what is stopping the Heat from saying, just go away? What is it?
It's the players' union saying a player has a right to be with the team, to dress on game night. That's contractual. And then if you don't play a player has the right to then say, you can't suspend me and still expect to get the $2.5 million. I agree with you, Big O. I agree that Mickey Harrison's stance of, if I'm paying you $500,000, get your butt on the court. No, not if you're going to be sulking or half the player you are. In these first 2 games back, I think you'd agree, we've not seen real Jimmy.
He's only playing because Mickey's cheap.
No, he's only playing because Mickey has a standard of, if I'm paying you to go to work, you go to work.
He's cheap. Okay, he's cheap. No,
I don't think cheap.
No.
$500,000 a game, not so cheap.
No, he's cheap. You know why? What's more important is my team, my franchise, my culture. Hey, you, Butler, fuck you. You know what? Here's $500,000. I'll burn it right in your face. Get out of here.
I'll take it instead.
Logo, Spoelstra is more important than you, Jimmy. Get out. That's the difference between me and Mickey. If I have his money, well, you know what? I screwed up. Okay, I made the decision over Eric Spoelstra to extend this guy, keep him, all that. I'm the owner. Okay, so I need to take the heat. Hey, Heat Nation, this is on me. Jimmy, get out of here. And that's it. And we're not going to have that in this. I think the Heat Nation would actually embrace Mickey even more if he did that, because he's fighting for the players and for Eric Spoelstra.
I do not disagree, but there's another answer there, Big O. The Miami Heat today in the 20th are not playing, make a trade. The Miami Heat on Wednesday are not playing, make a trade. In other words, you could talk about what you could or would do, or you could just go ahead and do the deal. And I still think you can do the deal. There's something out there, might not be optimal, but
do the deal, but keep him away from your team, dude. That way you don't have to deal with the stupid shit after the game with, the truth will come out and give him that stage. Bro, no, just get him. Just leave, dude. Just go away. I don't know. What do you got going on this Sentinel? Tell me.
I wrote about, until yesterday, over 7 games, Kalel and Bam had played 2 combined minutes. You do the math. They played seconds together in each of those games. Last night, 13 minutes. It's crazy, Big O. Per 100 possessions, with Kalel and Bam on the court, they would have outscored the opponents by 85 points per game. Now, that's small sample size theater, but it's goddamn intriguing, isn't it? I want to see more. I want to see it against the Blazers. I want to see it against Brook Lopez and Giannis Antetokounmpo when they played the Bucks on Thursday on national TV. Give me more. I'm also going to work on a column later.
By the way, that's what Riley loves. Long, athletic dudes.
Hey, he wanted Hassan and Bam together in Spoelstra balk. Now it's 2.0 with Bam we get to see. I'm also doing a column. Typically midseason, I do where the Heat stand at midseason. I do some what they need to do, what they've done. Until Jimmy's settled, there is no midseason analysis of the Heat, because I don't know what the Heat's going to look like a day, a week. February 6th later, we have to wait to assess what this team is, because I still don't know, which is sad, who this team is in midseason at 21-20. So we sort of wait on that. So a lot coming to you in your Sun Sentinel and your doorstep tomorrow.
Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Ira, as always, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. We will catch up next week.
Thank you. Less vulgarity next week in our accurate Pembroke Pines report. Thanks, Big O.
You got it, my brother. Wow. Jesus. Cheapness.
Stop it.
Cheapness. Cheapness.
Stop it.
Spend. Come on. Mickey, let's go. Stop being cheap. Customer appreciation sales event is going on at Acura Pembroke Pines. The ZDX, you can get electrified, $449 a month right now, baby. Number one volume sales dealership in the United States. It's right here in your backyard at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. They got some cheap deals going on. Mickey, you might be interested. The Integra 2025, $339 a month. We got 3.9% financing for 60 months. Pretty cheap, Mickey Harrison. The RDX, that's right, 2025, $399 a month, 3.9% financing for 72 months. That's a cheap deal right there, Mickey Harrison. And by the way, the MDX Tech, if you're looking for, top of the line there, Mickey, and you want to save money, because we know you're looking to save money, you can get $10,000 off right now, the MSRP on the MDX Tech. So if you're looking for a cheap deal, like Mickey Harrison, get on down to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. It is Acura of Pembroke Pines.